now we're at the time where the Hamashiach is getting ready to come.
And hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I am the Lord.
Last words, brother.
Shalom, ma.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. All right, Israel. Shabbat shalom. Pray everybody's having a blessed Shabbat. Give you a few minutes, a few seconds to get on here. All right. All right. Got a good lesson going on here. All right. All right. Got some ones in the comment box. So that means you can hear us loud and clear.
God. All right. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Israel.
All right, Israel. So, of course, the lesson is called Harlots, Whores, and the Need to Be Right. Stick with us, and you're going to see where we're going with this, Israel.
That's right.
And there's some things that we want to address because, you know, we look at what's going on right now and how the heathens have truly empowered collectively our sisters. Now, when you look at stuff like this, Black Lives Matter, right? And you look, they're consistently, mostly of women, pushing a particular agenda, and that agenda is feminism. And that's why you see the highest rate in single mothers, Black mothers, like we've never seen before, 72.6%, and that was dated as of 2015. And we know it's way higher than that. It's probably damn nearly like almost 80% now.
Sheesh.
You know, and you got to understand when you got that many collectively single Black mothers raising kids by themselves with no father, then go figure, you're going to have to imagine, you know, years from now how these kids are going to really be, because I don't care what nobody says, you know, a woman cannot teach a little boy how to be a man. You can't. It's physics. And when you look at the history of the Torah, and when you look at the roles, specific roles of the brothers and the specific roles of the sisters, it was second to none. The Most High had it all designed out. All right. You know, the men were the head of the household.
That's right.
The women were like the garrison. You know, they took care of the home. They made sure that everything was in order. All right. And, you know, the word says that a quiet and loving woman is a gift from the Most High. Not in the sense where she can't speak, but whenever she speaks, it's to uplift and to glorify the order that the Most High has.
God.
All right. You know, and especially our sisters, you have to really understand that if you want to see the big picture and really understand and get back to the Torah, because we have a lot of sisters out there that say they love the Torah, they love the Most High, but don't practice what they believe. And if they truly love the Torah, then we would have way more women who would be submissive. We would have way more women who would not be raising children by themselves. We would have way more women that wouldn't be, you know, leading out in divorce like it is. Because collectively, it's the woman who cuts the divorce. And then when you have the court system that support our women, collectively, majority of the times, guess what? The kids go to the woman. And it doesn't matter if the woman don't have a job or what have you, you know, because she can get welfare. So it automatically goes to the woman, where in the Torah it was backwards. You know, everything, when a woman left, you left what you came with. Nothing. You know, so Israel, we got a serious problem, you know, that's taking place within Israel. And I want to show you a scripture. Not that I had it up because I think going in and out, but check this out, and feel free to jump in anytime, brother.
God.
Let's look at Proverbs 16, and I'm just going to read verse 18, where it says, "Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty ruach before a fall." So when I think about, or when I see how these heathens have empowered our women, and to make them think that, hey, you know, I'm so empowered, I can do this just because I got a degree. You can't tell me nothing. This is my house. You know what I'm saying? we getting so much of that attitude that's rising up and everything, and it's scary when you think about it, because, you know, this was not the original role of our sisters was simply to support the household. But of course, we already know how that turned out. And this is what we have. You know, look around you. Next 10 years, next 30 years from now, just imagine what the kids are going to be like, the ones that have been raised by single uh, Israelite mothers. It's a mess, Israel. And you wonder why it's just you see so much effeminate in our children, especially the men growing up these days. And you know, me and Brother Ak, we was just talking about this the other day. It's easy to be a man in these days. You know why it's easy to be a man in these days? Because it ain't hardly no men around that are true men. So if you are truly into the Torah and you truly are heart and with all your heart, mind, and soul, it's easy for you to be a man in this generation, in this society, because we have very few men who are willing to stand up and speak out and guard these commandments, laws, and statutes. What you got, brother?
Where we at? Okay, we are Proverbs. All right, I wanted to go here. Matter of fact, let me share the screen. All right, because depending on what you were talking about, right? This is what we have going on, right? Now, I know everybody always tired of Jezebel, right? But you know, we have so many of them nowadays. Right? It's not like it was. You got one Jezebel, and then you know, once that wickedness died off, and they were punished, and you know, she got torn up by the dogs and whatnot. They learned their lesson, and that didn't happen again. But today, you know, we just don't learn lessons, right? The book of First Kings, chapter 21, verse 25. It says, "But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel, his wife, stirred up." Right? Whom Jezebel, his wife, stirred up. And see, the thing about it is that why I want to say that is that, you know, hold on, let me read 26 too. It says, "And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things he did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel." Right? So he was doing wickedness, right? Stuff for the heathens, stuff that was against the Most High and what he wanted us to do. Right? That's what we got to realize when we're reading this. And why I say that is because we have that same situation going on now. Right? Just like Jezebel stirred up Ahab to complete all types of wickedness, right? We got these single mothers, they stirring up their sons to do abominable works, right? You know, they don't want the so-called good brothers, right? Or the so-called brothers that are not Pookies and Ray Rays, they're not out there in the streets selling drugs, being a scam artist, this, that, and the third, right? And, you know, so they look at those brothers as, you know, lame, unproductive, you know, and lame, not interesting, and not entertaining, right? And because of that, right, because we have now seek to wrought wickedness instead of righteousness, that's the things that are going on in our nation, right? That says, "But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel, his wife, stirred up." How many women out there are Jezebels stirring up men to do all types of wickedness, right? It's got to be the majority of them, because look at our nation. If we got 73% of single mothers, right? We can go back to the statistics. The numbers don't lie, right? It's probably a lot worse now. Stuff that's not even being reported. A large percentage, way over half, right? Single mothers raising up children, no fathers in the home, no discipline. So what does that do, right? What about the daughters? They have no discipline. What they do, they see their mother see man after man after man. And you know what that creates? Harlots, whores, and the need to be right.
That's right.
Because they don't want to listen to a man telling them, "Hey, you need to keep your legs closed until you get married. You only supposed to be with one man. You have to respect that man and love that man." Right? No. I want to be a harlot. I want to be a whore in the street, and I want to be right. right? You ever tried to argue with with any of these women that just don't want to take the magic word as accountability for the wickedness that they've done? It'll be different if they were actually trying to learn and be like, you know what, I shouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to repent, and I apologize. And now I'm gonna go ahead and tell the younger generation that what I did is wicked and they shouldn't repeat the same thing. But we
Mm-hmm.
don't have that. We have the older generation repeating the same thing that they did when they were younger without learning their lesson in their old age. And what is that? That's an old fool, like the scriptures say. Go ahead, up.
Yeah, and I want to show you something because let's before I go to Isaiah right quick, let's look at the whole accountability thing. All right, and I know some women will say, well, what about the men? The men don't have any accountability. I'm gonna tell you something, sis. When you look, men, we don't have a problem with accountability because we've been hit with accountability over the last couple of 100 years. All right, we always get hit. The war is against the men. So yeah, we're always getting it because that was the main thing that they wanted to take out the home anyway. Take out the man, you destroy the family. All right, point blank. Now you look at the welfare system. That was, I forgot the name of the guy who was created by, but that was created by an individual, and that was created back in the 1930s. And y'all want to know what that welfare was for? At the time, they called it government assistance. There was something a name for it. It was shortly after the Depression that happened in the 1920s. Now, black folks wasn't really affected by the 1920 Depression because we didn't have anything anyway, and so we were separate from them. But this whole government assistance thing was to help white people back in the 30s when it was created, to help them to get ahead. But check peep this, Israel. When they gave it to them, they didn't kick the white man out the home. Did y'all know that? They didn't tell the white woman, hey, we're gonna be your sugar daddy. And by the way, we give you some government assistance. You gotta tell your husband to leave. You gotta divorce your husband. You can't be up in the house. Think about it, Israel. This stuff was planned against us, especially the women being weaponized, and they knew. The heathens sat down and they thought about this stuff. Let's see how we can weaponize the sisters. Let's see how we can weaponize the black woman against their man. I mean, they literally sat down and thought about that stuff. They probably planned that stuff 100 years ago, and they thought through about it and everything. That's what they do, Israel. But we don't. For some reason, we don't see the light because we'll just grab onto anything that they throw at us. And unfortunately, our people always want free stuff. All right. I'm not saying that free is bad or anything like that, but
no, go ahead, tell them.
Yeah, when free comes at the cost of sacrificing your man, there's something wrong with that picture.
Gone. Right. And then plus, right, you shouldn't be looking for anything for free anyway. That's just the spirit of laziness, right?
Yeah. Our people always want free stuff. Always want free stuff. Stuff just gets on my nerves to no end. All right. Well, getting back to the whole thing with the welfare and how they turned this thing against us. See, it was meant for the white collar average person to help them get ahead, but yet they didn't kick their white men out the home. And so they found a way to use it against us. It says, okay, well, we can get these black women. If we can throw some free money to them and encourage them to have babies, all that kind of stuff, we'll give you more money. We'll increase your welfare income. All right. So you have one baby, you got two babies. We'll give you another $75 cut per each child. Which is not a lot of money, especially back then. All right. So think about it now. When you have that process for the next 70 years going on, just imagine how that's going to equate into the future. And one thing you got to understand, Israel, is that when the Most High tells us something, or gives us a warning, or He's looking out for us for hundreds of years in advance. All right, I'm gonna give you an example. When Saul, y'all know Saul, y'all know the story. When Samuel, prophet, he told the Most High told Saul to kill those nations, kill young and old, don't spare. What did Saul do? He figured he can spare some of the good ones. All right,
so-called good ones.
So-called. And then what happened? We all know what happened after that. You know, he was dethroned. He was stripped by the Most High. You know, and those same people, hundreds of years later, they came back and enslaved our people. So same thing, Israel. You look at it when you have 73 point something % or more that are unwed and raising Israelite kids by themselves. All we're doing is it's like we're creating children for the sword. It's like we're leading them to the slaughter, because you know, without that balance, without the order that the Most High has put in place, you're not going to have anything but disaster, destruction, chaos, and that's the way it is now. You know, I even hate watching social media sometimes. And I came across a video. All you see is our people shaking their butts, shaking their behinds like it ain't nothing. All right, but yet you got Chinese families teaching their kids quantum physics.
And they stay together. They don't get divorced.
No, it's against their custom to get divorced.
That's right.
And they don't be marrying outside their race.
Nope.
Like that. So Israel, you know, we're in serious trouble. Now let's go to Isaiah. All right. And y'all should know that by now. Isaiah says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Now, what's the whole agenda that's being pushed out right now? Feminism, masculation. Now these kids are growing up. They have no idea how to be a man because they never had a man in the house to teach them. All right. And when you have harlots, when you have these whores that are raising these kids, in their minds, using their own wisdom, trying to teach these kids, they're not doing anything but lead them to the lake. They're breeding. It's like our women collectively, Israel, and I'll say collectively because I'm not talking about all sisters, all right? But collectively, our women, it's like they have become breeding fields for destruction for our children. I mean, that's a sad case. All right. It says, "Oh, my people, they which lead you cause you to err and destroy the way of your path." You know, there was a video I saw, and I wish I had it with me, but it was a video I saw, and it was his sister. And of course, she was a harlot. You know, she had like 4 kids by like 3 different dudes and stuff. And she was regretting it. She was like, "Man, I would, you know, if I would have known what I know now, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have had it. I would have kept my man. I would have done this. These kids are turned against me, you know." And that's what you're seeing a lot too. A lot of these kids, you wonder why they're just rotten to the core. They turned against their own parents and stuff. They're going out and getting involved with gang violence and all that kind of stuff. And you know, this is the result: breeding unwed children. All right, you can look at the statistics for yourself. The reality is out there. Yeah, we go hard with this all the time, and y'all can say all you want to. Hey, why y'all always talking about this stuff? What? Hey, look, this is why we call it a 7-year war, because we are at war with our own women. It's a damn shame.
Like the problem is, right? The problem is y'all don't realize, right, that what you've done is like not made yourself more valuable, but in turn made yourself less valuable, right? By like, you know, and you know, back in the day when it was wedding was required, a ring, right? Commitment, a wife, a house, a home, a car, a man that did something, right? You had to come, you know, that was required for you to get married and for you to you know, lose your virginity. That was the requirement then, right? That's a lot. That was a lot, right? Because the price on women, right? The worth on women were high, right? The morality was high, but now, right? Some type of way, y'all letting the heathen trick you, right? Just like the heathen is tricked you with wearing the pants. Well, you know, come back from the war, y'all used to wear dresses in the fields, picking cotton in the hot from sun up to sun up, what? Rocking dresses,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? That's what
You
was
know,
going on.
it's interesting you say that, man, because even when I was growing up, man, I'm up there. I'm over half a century old. So look, when I was
Con,
growing up, it was common. The girls in our school, they all wore dresses.
con,
They just all wore dresses. Even the ones who didn't go to church, they all
right?
just wore dresses because that was just a common thing.
Just notice that everything has just trickled on down to the spirit of a man, because we know that in the scriptures, right? The person, like a lot of the scriptures is talking about men, right? And then for them to not to be for them not to be adulterers, and for men to be straight, right? But now for some reason the woman has taken on, right, has taken on the attributes of a man, and that is backwards, and that is steeped in the root of wickedness, right?
Hmm.
There's an unclean spirit that hopped on you. I
Yeah,
got a scripture real quick. Huh?
yeah. And while
Go
you're
ahead.
pulling that up, there's never been, well, I'll challenge y'all to try to find it, but there's nowhere in the Torah where you see a woman trying to be or fall in the role of a man. You're not going to see that. A woman wouldn't even dare think about something like that. Not even it wouldn't even cross her mind back in the days to do something like that. But now you got all these manly women out there just
Right.
with the manly characteristics.
Con.
That's
Now,
disgusting. Ain't nobody want to be with another dude.
I'm gonna tell you, right? This is Proverbs 7. This right here is at least like the community said, we have 70
Bring it on.
almost 80%, right, of single mothers, right? But at some point in time, right, the scriptures have warned brothers against this, right? It says, my son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which is flattereth with her words. Now that is twofold, right? That's talking about other doctrines and also strange doctrines as well as women. Because let's watch the example. For at the window of my house I looked through the casement and beheld among the simple ones. Are you a simple one? I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. That means he didn't understand, right? He had no understanding. When the scriptures say that what? That we should get understanding with all thy getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It says, and behold, among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a man that was void of understanding. Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, right? Because the evening and the morning was the first day. So in the evening, this is the beginning of the day. In the dark and the black of the night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and substance of heart, right? This woman, what is the attire of a harlot, right? Does a woman of the Most High, does she have her a cleavage showing, cut low shirts? Is that a woman of the Most High? Does a woman of the Most High wear pants? Tight form-fitting pants. Any kind of things that try to show off her figure. No, right? We already know what if he wants to pull up that scripture, we already know that our sisters need to be dressed modestly. The reason why, right? Because sometimes I look at this stuff, right, and I see that if a woman's saying that she's wearing a bikini or whatever it is at the beach, or whatever it may be, and that dudes are staring at her, right? And I was like, oh man, you need to learn how to control the men because this, that, and the third. Listen. There are always going to be wicked men. That's just the world that we live in, right? And the reason why women need men is because there are wicked men.
That's right.
If you get with the brother that is righteous, he can protect you from other wicked men. Just because Men have built up the world that we all live in, right? All the great technology, right? Everything from AC to electricity, right? That we have created in this society. Brothers, Israelites under captivity, thinking of great inventions. Even under all of this stuff right here, right? We got to realize that we still have a role to play. Everything is always laid out in the scriptures, right? So it says, attire of a harlot, substile of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Who does that sound like nowadays? They're loud and they're stubborn, and they do not want to stay in the house. They don't want to do home activities. They don't want to raise children.
That sounds collectively like the modern day black women of the day in America, especially America.
She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. They want to go to the club. They don't want to stay home. They want to wear short dresses. They don't want to wear stuff to cover up, right? Because they believe that the white man and in America that they can get protection from the police, and that some type of way, right, that they don't need you, that they could be whores and harlots, and that it's a sexual liberation, and that some type of way that their value is now higher because they have experienced more dinglings. Are you kidding me right now? Does that make any sense at all? The past doesn't matter. That's what they say. The past doesn't matter. So let me get this straight. If you have slept with 100 dudes, or no, okay, and you know, let me say if you have slept with 20 dudes, right? When you shouldn't be having 20 experiences, right? It doesn't matter what the brother is. Let's say he could be the most confident brother in the world, right? But that's 20 other dudes now that you have to compare your husband to. Well, you know what? I like with dude number 17, he did this. I like when dude number 12, he did that. Or when dude number 6 did that. That's confusion. That's trauma. That's wickedness.
And the problem with that too, you know, for sisters that are saying that, you know, the past doesn't matter. Okay, so you only get one virginity. Once you break that virginity with a brother, that's it. That brother owns your virginity. He has humbled you, and that's the only person that you're supposed to belong to. But now these days, you got women, you know, who got more body counts than Madonna got crabs. Mm-hmm. And when you look at that stuff, it's like in the hundreds. Now, how can you got to ask yourself the question? You have a body count that high. How in the world can you say that the past doesn't matter? Because you've been humbled over 100 times. And
not only that, right?
That man's sperm has went into you, so it's like part of that man. You have like over 100 parts of men in you, and you wonder why some of our women are crazy as a bag of cats.
Not only that, right? That proves one thing, right? Any man with any modicum of common sense, right, would look at that and think that what you are allergic to commitment. Why should I choose a woman that has been with 20 partners?
Yeah.
Why should I choose a woman that's been with 100 partners? This woman will not submit. She will not commit. This woman is unmarriageable.
And if a man does get with that, which many of the Pookies and Ray, we did a lesson on the Pookies and the Ray race, and the only people who are going to take up that offer are going to be the Pookies and the Ray race.
They don't care.
And everything else anyway, so it doesn't matter how many body counts you have. The Pookies and the Ray race are going to always be there for you.
But they're not going to marry you.
When it comes to a righteous brother, they're not going for that.
Well, the Pookies and Ray race, they're not going to marry you. You know
exactly.
You may have the unicorn story, you know, here and there, right? But we got to realize the one thing that's emphatically true, all the way across the board, right? Repenting, right? When you repent and you forgive, right? That does not mean, right? We're when you repent and you're doing something, let's say for example, if you repent, that means you quit you doing that thing, period, altogether, right? If you're a sister, right, and you've been with 20, let's say if you've been with 20 20 people, right? I'm just going to go, so let's say if you've been with 10 to 20 people, right? I'm not saying that, you're not going to be telling your number or telling your history. Let's say you repent or whatever, right? But for just for the community, let's say, it could be any brother, right? It could be any brother in the world. Let's just break down the math, right? Do you think that you will be a mother with wisdom, showing that in your prime years, you could not control yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? Would that be a bet? Would that be a good bet for a brother to make him for a brother to make his legacy from? Would that be a bet? Would that be a good bet? Let's just think about it. Like, let's think about it logically, right? Sure, it hurts, and we all have it. Brothers, at the same time, right? Discipline. Don't be a fornicator. The scriptures is the same thing, right? Fornicating, right? If you're a brother that fornicates, what are you doing? Like they say, like that one dude was saying, right? You're a whore maker. That's what you're doing, because you can't control yourself, right? Because the woman is too weak. She doesn't understand her value. That's where it also comes in on the brothers as well. Now, I'm just not going to go on the sisters, right? Because at the end, even though the end decision does rely on you, brothers are out here taking stuff, right? The end decision lies on the woman.
Yep. And sisters, the only thing that the Pookies and the Ray Rays are going to do for you is just add to your body count. That's about it.
Right. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now she is without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. They're out there trying to get the bag. They want you to fly them out. They want to get flowed out to Dubai so some heathen can take a dump on them. This stuff is wicked all the way around, right? So she has caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day I have paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet thee diligently, to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, and with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrhs, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves, for the goodman is not at home. He has gone a long journey. How many sisters have men or had men? And you cheated. You out there got another brother up in the house. Harlots and whores. And then when you busted, you got the need to be right. You don't realize that's what you've done is wicked. You want to fight against it. How many times has that happened? That women around here got more than one.
And not only that, but then, I see a lot of these sisters, they always say, well, I know the Most High will forgive me. Like that's an excuse or something to go out and go ahead and get another man. All you're doing is creating more wickedness. When the brother Eitan was talking about repentance, that means total absence. That means turning completely away. So sisters, if you have a high body count and you're still single, you haven't been married, you don't need to get not with no other man. Keep your legs closed, stay at home, stay in those scriptures, and pray that the Most High will have mercy on your souls.
And preach the scriptures that are pertaining to women to other sisters, right? There's nothing wrong with you telling a sister that, hey, sis, you know what? I messed up when I was younger. I know I'm not fit to be a wife, but you have a chance. And this is what you need to do.
Yeah, when we get done with this verse, we're gonna go to Titus, and we're gonna show you what a true righteous woman is supposed to be doing.
Right? It says, he had taken a bag of money with him, and he will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech, because she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. He goeth after her straightway, as an oxen goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteneth to a snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Right? So that's two ways, right? One is this doctrine of these damn heathen. Got you straight away, right? Got you going like you got a fool to the correction stocks. till a dart hit through your liver. You like a bird going straight to the trap. Don't even know that it's going to kill you. That's what the scriptures say. It says, hearken to me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. We got to listen to the Most High, right? In all facets, when he's telling us to keep these commandments. Brothers, we got to mind ourselves, right? We need to be out here, slinging it. That's not, we got to be sexually disciplined. Don't be a fornicator. Don't be an adulterer. You out there sleeping with women, single mothers, things of that nature, brother. You out here, being an adulterer, and you're causing that woman to be adulteress. Those are sins that are punishable by death, meaning that you're going straight to the lake of fire.
Right. That's right. And sisters, it was, the order was laid down. What we were supposed to do, and just when a woman, especially had that many body counts, and like brother was saying earlier, how can any man, how can she be trusted with any man after that? And that right there, you've already went into a base mindset. And a lot of these women collectively have this base mindset where they just don't care. And that's why, when these pookies and the Ray Rays get in there, they get tired of the pookies and the Ray Rays. Well, guess what? They go on to the next ones. That's why we tell these brothers not to be moving in with no woman, period. You need to have your own place. You need to have your own stuff situated. All right? You have a job, and have transportation so you can take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, technically, we were supposed to be taking care of the women. A lot of that stuff is flipped. But let's go to, unless you got something else, brother.
No. Go ahead.
Let's go to Titus right quick. Because, this is just a portion of the rule book, or the playbook, Israel. This is the layout that the Most High has for the women. All right, Titus 2:3 says the aged women likewise. And what does it mean by the aged woman? It's not necessarily talking about old women. It is too, in a sense, but a woman that has wisdom, all right, that knows by experience, the aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming in the fear of Yahweh. So what does it mean, first of all, to fear Yahweh? It means to keep the laws. All right? The beginning of the fear of Yahweh is keeping these laws. It says not false accusers. What is that talking about? False accusers is not what you see today, always pointing the fingers. Well, man, all men are dogs, this and that, and all this and that. It says not given to much wine, teachers of good things. What are the good things? Anything that's pure, anything that's righteous, anything that's holy.
Wait, hey, read that. Not given to much wine. Yep. You know how many women I've seen, in my lifetime, just as soon as they get drunk, they just stupid. They do stuff that they normally would never do if they were sober, right? This is why it's also a big thing about not taking advantage of women when they're under the influence, because when they're under the influence, they're easily influenced, shall I say?
And a woman's body mass is much smaller, so when they consume alcohol, guess what? It's going to hit them. It's going to hit them 3 times the effect as it would hit a man.
Man, see, the scriptures are so wise, right? It goes on to say it again in verse 4. The same thing. Not given to much wine, that they may teach the young women to be sober. That means the Most High wants your brain intact, not out here on drugs. Out here on drugs, because that's not, why, right? Because you also have to birth children. If you're out here on some kind of, if you're out here getting drunk, right, you're on some kind of drugs, that's going to affect children, the children that you bear, right? It's because, notice that it also talks that they may teach the young women to be sober, because young women are the ones that are supposed to be having the children. Go ahead, Al.
All right, let me pull up something, because I want to really go into detail in these different characteristics. All right, so just give me a second, because I'm going to pull up Titus 2:12. All right, this is what I want. All right, let me share the screen right quick.
Right,
because I want to be able to just go into and then show y'all. We talked about this before, but there's some stuff that we really want to bring out.
Because that stuff goes into like a whores and harlotry. That's like the birth of whores and harlotry. You start getting drunk and your mind ain't right. you know what I'm saying. All of a sudden, you get around like I say, the quote unquote bad crowd, or the crowd that's they favor wickedness. And what's going to happen to you is that you're going to get sucked right in, right, and then you're going to become a hoe or a harlot, or you're going to get stuck into a situation. Like say if you're drinking and you're at one of them parties or whatnot when you're a kid, or when you're a senior in high school or whatnot, or college parties, when you're getting drunk or whatnot. What's going to happen? You're going to do stuff that you're not supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing about it, like, I know you women, I know women know that they weren't supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? I know after the next morning they feel some type of way about it. Like, oh man, I know I shouldn't have let that dude do that, or I know I shouldn't have. I should have done that. You know what I mean? And then that what continues the drinking. Oh well, let me just keep getting drunk and just do it until I become numb to it.
Yeah.
All kinds of wickedness.
Yeah, this is something that we don't see collectively in our women today, especially American women. We do not see this stuff. I want to read the whole through. We're just going step by step to be discreet. All right, so let's go to discreet, and let's just break that down here. Can you see the screen there?
Con.
All right. What does that say? Of a sound mind, sane, one sense. So
in one's senses.
Yeah. So when you bring up the whole alcohol thing, like women, when they consume alcohol, they try to consume as much as a man, and that's going to mess them up, not only physically but mentally and spiritually. And this is why they act the most craziest, because their mass is much less. I would say this, less denser than a man. A man's mass is more denser, so it's not going to affect a man as much as it's going to affect a woman.
Now, if it's just you and your old lady and y'all married and y'all want to, take some sips of wine and get drunk and together and do whatever, hey man, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Not at all, right? But in in like public settings, what I'm saying, in situations where your universe is not controlled, right? I would advise 100% against it. So I wouldn't even mind, brothers. I wouldn't advise you drinking. Period, man. You go into any kind of any kind of company function or around these damn heathens. I would stay absolutely sober and your head on the swivel.
That's right. So this discreet. So check this out. It says, can you see that pretty good?
It
says curbing one's desire and impulses. What the majority of our people act on these days? Impulses. Right? Curbing one's desire and impulses. Impulses is a thing that's off of emotions. A lot of times, especially with women, can be very impulsive because women are very emotional. That's the way that that they were created. Self-control, temperate. Do we see a lot of the modern day women of the day that are self-controlled? Absolutely not. Temperate. These things are these things are huge, and this is something that you don't see. Let's look at chaste. What does that say?
Bring it out.
Exciting, reverence, venerable, sacred, and pure. Remember Brother Eton was talking about earlier, the dress, the modesty dress and everything. When I was growing up, you didn't see women like you saw them today. They were covered. You look at Afghanistan, all their women are like covered from head to toe. The only thing that's showing is the face, and that's barely even showing sometimes.
Now, we're not trying to tell you to be like that now. Yeah. I mean, but we're just telling you how if the heathens are going that far, how much more should you? You know what I mean?
But our women were covered up though, head to toe, back in the days. But why do you think that was, Israel? Our women were definitely not wearing no pants back in the days. Why do you think it's so important to be pure, sacred? Why do you think that the covering of the body for a woman is so important? So that brothers won't get tempted with lust. And you look at these days, women are walking around half naked anyway. You got all these brothers out there. Of course they're gonna look. What you think? They're gonna just put some blindfolds over their eyes and try to walk past you without looking? You right in front of them. Brothers are gonna see what you got on.
Yeah.
But if you're covered, they can't see the curvature of your body. They can't see because I mean, most high men are women beautiful. So to be looked upon. That's how the angels. That's how the fallen angels messed up at. So that, and that questions me. That makes me question. Hey, were they covered up? Pure from carnality, chest, modest, pure from every fault, immaculate, clean, virginity, virgins. It's hard to find a virgin in America, a woman, because virginity is so far gone, my sisters. Even if you bring up the word virginity, they'll laugh at you like you some foreign alien or something. No, it's different. I don't know, a different dimension, something. It's just the word virginity amongst our women collectively has just become almost obsolete now. It's just, man, it's a shame. All right. Keepers at home, we already know what that means. All right. Good. Obedient. Let's look at that. All right. To arrange under what? To subordinate, be subordinate.
Let me ask you something. I mean, not ask you something, but if you feel some type of way, right? When we're reading these scriptures, right, and showing things like this and breaking it down, if you still feel some type of way about being a subordinate, or or to subject oneself to obey another, to a man or something like that, right? You have to look at yourself, and you have to understand that you have the unclean spirit on you. Right, you should look at stuff like this, right, and you should have been raised to look for these things and to want these kind of things, right? Mm-hmm. But in this society, in the land of the heathen, right, they're going to tell you to look at these things as something negative, right? Something that's going to be, something that's bad for you. Yeah. But we see that all the good that this so-called, way of thinking is done none at all. Has done no good. It has only begot wickedness. Now we got men in sports, right, and all kinds of stuff that's going on, because now you have these evil ass heathens taking over the situation, because they're using women, our women, to perpetrate the wickedness, right? They want you to be whores. They want you to be harlots. They want you to talk over your brother with the need to be right, because they want to continue living in wickedness. They want to magnify their wickedness. You think this is it? You think that this is the end of the story? No, it's about to get worse, Israel. You best believe it's about to get worse.
That's an understatement. Right.
How else do you think that the wickedness, right, is going to be in the cup? It's going to raise up so high that the Most High is going to have to come back and kill this place. How you think it's going to get there? You think it's going to all of a sudden get better? That these heathen, all of a sudden, that the cat's out the bag, that all of a sudden they're going to return to try to say that in God we trust. They're going to put the Bibles back in the school, start singing Kumbaya, and niggas going to have equal opportunity. That's what y'all believe? How many years have y'all been in slavery? And we've been so-called free? It's still bad. It's still bad. Kick the brothers out of the house. Now they got women on TV talking about they don't need no man. Oh, I'm glad I can't get along with my baby father. Go out here, some stupid brother, right? Some stupid nigga. You know what he does? He goes out and has a baby with the same woman that had a baby from somebody else. He sees that she cannot submit and that she's a whore or a harlot from another man, and is going to lay with him and have a child, and he thinks that he's going to get a different result.
They don't learn.
They don't learn.
And it's the same thing over and over. You need Poogies and Ray Rays. They don't care.
And see, the situation is they're coming from these single mother homes, and that's why they learn this behavior in the first place. So it's like a cycle of wickedness that continues to go around and around and around in a circle. And we know how Most High feels about that. He's gonna give you some warnings. He gonna put brothers out there with the truth to let Israel know the things that you're not supposed to be doing before he drops the hammer.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. To subject one's self, obey. Check this out. To submit to one's control. Scripture says a woman, whoever hath a good woman, have a good possession.
Bring it out.
Okay? We know that the man is the head of the household. We know what it says in 1 Corinthians 11, right? To submit to one's control. And if the brother is righteous, it ain't gonna be what you think it is. All right, you're gonna be treated righteously. It's a righteous brother, a true righteous brother that is keeping the laws and commandments. But see, but the women don't want to do this, to submit to one's control. This is something right here that has been a stumbling block to our sisters. Why? Because the heathens have pushed this narrative out. You can be your own boss. You be your own woman. You're the strong, independent black woman. Now go tell that to the world. And they believe that stuff. They sucked it up like gravy on rice. This is the one thing right here: submit to one's control.
You know, Israel, it doesn't matter how Brother Daniel says it or how I say it, right? The words are true. The words that we saying are true, right? There's nothing that Brother Daniel or myself that we teach openly to the public, to Israel, right, that is not rooted and booted in Scripture.
That's right.
Right? Nothing, right? If there is, feel free to check us at any time. Feel free to, put at 50 minutes point 26 brother Iton, you said something that's not in the scriptures. You said that God said that this and the third. Hey, please let me know, because I want to be better for the people.
Yeah.
Right?
But again,
if I've done something like that.
Yeah, y'all know us, and that's all we do is give you straight words. We don't get into other books. We give y'all the straight truth from the scriptures.
God.
And what does it say? It says in Luke 17, I think it's 10, where it says that the Most High will give you a mouth of wisdom that none of your adversary will better gainsay. So yeah, we're giving you straight up scriptures. We're showing you what needs to be done, and we're going to show you the result of what's going to happen if you do not do these things. And I'm talking about the sisters. All right, and already we're seeing we're already seeing a whole barrage of just wickedness. All right, first of all, you got 73 or more point something % of unwed women, black women, having babies. All right,
y'all get tired of that number because we won't keep bringing it up.
Yeah, that right there in itself is a blow to the sisters. Why? Because see, now you risk the chance of dying alone, for one, and then your children are repeating that same process. So when you become an old woman, still living in an apartment, you're like 80 years old, and you're living in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment, and everything. Your kids are doing the same thing. They don't have nothing. They don't own anything. How are they going to take care? Who's going to take care of you? You're going to end up in a nursing home, and that's if they even take you. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of our women might not see it now. They may think it's cute and all this and all this stuff to have a high body count, be whores and harlots, and to play the fiddle. But when the rubber meets the road, and when it comes time to judgment, guess what? They're sitting, with their arms crossed, like wondering why me? Why me? Why is this happening to me? Well, you did this to yourself years ago. You planted that seed. And our women collectively, they keep planting this seed of destruction on themselves by, first of all, not submitting, disobeying the Most High, going totally against the order of the Most High. And the result of that is death. Israel. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how you twist it up. The result of sin eventually is death. All right? You might not die within the 10 years or 20 years, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. You got all these tattoos, and then you're 80 years old, and your grandchildren asking you, "Hey, Grandma, why you got all the tattoos on?" "I used to be a whore, baby." Ringo got them tattoos on you. Got them tattoos in your early 20s because you thought it was cute and everything. You sitting there like 80 years old, got these old tattoos on you.
Now, hey, you seen this stuff now? They got some kind of I've heard a lot of stuff about some kind of website. OnlyFans, right?
Mm.
And where now the sisters are online, they're being on online hookers and harlots, where they got man, you can see you can see a booty hole for $3.99 a month. This
Man,
stuff is just
that's
wicked beyond all control, right? I'm going to read one scripture right here, right?
crazy. Go ahead.
I want y'all to understand Proverbs 27:20. It says, hell and destruction are never full. So the eyes of man are never satisfied, right? And that's what we got going on right now. The eyes are not satisfied. They think that getting on, getting online and selling themselves for a couple of bucks, right? They think that's gonna, that's gonna land them a future somewhere. But what about the children? You got
Hey,
children.
I want to elaborate on that right quick. When it says the eyes are not satisfied, so sisters, think about this for a minute. When you see sisters out here having high body counts and they're not satisfied, they want more because they think the next man's penis is going to be better, and they're going to keep doing that because they think there's going to be something always better because they're never going to be satisfied. What do you think that does to the mind? What do you think that does to the body? It numbs you up. It numbs your spirit up. You get to the point of no return. I'm talking about beyond a reprobate mind. So based to the point where you can't even hear me and Brother Aton. Everything that we're saying is going in one ear and out the other. Because you're so deluded with lust, you're so deluded with the lust of the eyes and everything. You can't even hear. You can't even hear us. You can't even see it. And anybody at that, that's giving you the straight truth. And that's just like when you delving into that lasciviousness for so long and so much, you become numb, Israel. You become numb. You can't think straight. You can't discern spiritual things at all. And that's serious. Compared to where we came from King David's era, the roles of the woman and the man, to versus now, we've never seen anything like this. This is unprecedented. We've never been in a situation where we were at over 73% of unwed mothers, black mothers bearing children, or fathers.
Right. Harlots and whores, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Like, it's a woman is a receiver, right? A receiver from men, right? She gives the man nothing back. The only thing she gives a man back would be a child, right? If the seed were to come to fruition, right? They're receivers, right? So like, let's say you've received 10 men, you've received 20 men, right? You've received a number of men. Think about that in your mind. Does that make you clean, or would you think that would make you unclean? Right? And I need y'all to get this because this is of the utmost importance, and the daughters need to be taught this, even if there is no man in the home. We're gonna try to fix this the best way we possibly can with following these laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's right. Now check this out. I'm gonna read the rest of this. All right. So to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands. Well, over 73% of the women are unwed, not even married. So how can they be faithful? How can they even be faithful to a man that they're not even married to? But they're raising kids by different daddies. You see how out of whack this stuff is, Israel? And we want to wonder why, things are happening the way they are. All right, I'm telling you, Israel, this stuff is so unprecedented. Like, we've never, ever seen anything like this in the history of the Torah, of this magnitude. And then to think that it's going to get worse and worse. Man, you got to actually, I can see it. I can see how it's going to get worse and worse because we have not seen the end of it yet. We have not seen I don't even think we haven't even seen the large scale of it yet. We haven't even cracked the midpoint yet, because you got to understand the next 50, 20 years from now, all these kids that have been raised by their mothers, just imagine what they're going to be like in the next 20 years. Just imagine the homosexuality and the lesbianism and the transgenderism that's going to be rampant in the next 20 years. I don't even want to think about it because it's scary to even think about it.
They went from something that used to stay in the closet with to something that now, if you say if you speak against it, they could try to do something to you. You know what I mean?
Hey, do me a favor. Bring up Isaiah. Can you bring up Isaiah 5:20?
Okay, Con.
Yeah, where you got the scriptures up. Bring up Isaiah 5:20.
All right, all right. Isaiah 5. Let me remember this.
Isaiah 5:20.
All right.
About woe to them that are called evil good and good evil, such and such.
Okay, con. Let me pull it up right here.
You need to bring that out.
Con. Gotcha. Isaiah 5:20. Let's get it.
Isaiah 5:20.
All right, con. Let me share this. No. Let me remove that. Let me stop that. Let me.
Okay. In Israel, you know, whatever. Why he's bringing that up? You know, the scriptures already said what's going to happen, because we're living in an age where all the good things, all the holy things have become bad, and all the wicked stuff has become just normal. And that's what we're seeing. All right, you got that? Can you blow it up a little bit?
Con, I got you out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's too much. All right, that was good.
All right. Okay.
Y'all can see that, Israel?
Yep, I can see it. Isaiah 5:20 says, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil." All right. Oh, virginity is a bad thing. You shouldn't be no virgin. You know, virgins are for goody two shoes. Why you want to be a virgin? Man, ain't nobody gonna respect you if you're a virgin. Well, that's totally the opposite, because if a woman truly knows her worth, guess what? A man's gonna have to step back. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Here's a kicker right here. Here's a kicker right here, y'all. All right. It says, woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes. What does that sound like today? And prudent in their own sight. So you got these sisters who have so-called been empowered by the heathens, feel like they can never do no wrong. They always need to be right. They always have to be the ones with the final answers, the know-it-alls. All right.
Mm.
And you see what's happening right here, because there has not been any accountability of the women collectively for the last 70 years. Now, what do I mean by no accountability? I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. All right. For one example, when the woman divorces, who benefits mostly collectively from the divorce? The woman. Now, y'all can sit there and try to say disagree, but I guarantee you the statistics and reality will show you that collectively the women benefits from breaking a relationship. And that's why it's highly encouraged by the heathens that the woman, if a woman is married, that she breaks the relationship because she benefits from it. Now to the point where you have to get a prenup now these days. All right?
Because they don't want you raising your children.
All right. Another thing where women have not been have no accountability is, you know, the whole court systems, the welfare system, the whole feminist movement system, because women aren't being held accountable for that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, it's being encouraged, and women are collectively being incentivized for being wicked, especially if it involves against the Israelite man.
Mm.
All right. So you got to understand, Israel, the big picture, and see what's really going on and how the system is playing these sisters against the men and against themselves. Because at the end of the day, everybody got to face the judgment, right? Everybody's going to face the judgment, whether you did all the good, whatever, and all the wrong you did. All right. And when that judgment comes, Israel, that is going to be that is going to be the moment that you, especially if you're wicked, you do not want to stand before the Most High. Or if you happen to die in your wickedness, we talked about the four divisions of the spirit world of the resting place. And you definitely don't want to be in that agonizing resting place where your soul never rests. You want to be in a peaceful state. You know, the same place where Samuel is resting at, and all the righteous prophets. That's a serious. Look, I watched the whole town get wiped out. Majority of Israel get wiped out like in a matter of seconds. All right, in a small southern town in Mississippi. And I knew a lot of those people in that town because I spent my summers growing up there. It was my old stomping ground. All right. So I know firsthand. And this is not planned. And these ones who lost their life were Israel. They were Israel. All right. So you may be asking, well, how come the Most High didn't protect them? You know, we can't question that. But I know one thing: Most High is not going to tolerate wickedness, Israel. And as we said before, a lot of you women that have this mindset, and you sit back and you don't check these other women, you're just as guilty. You are just as guilty as though if you've done it yourself. Especially when you had the opportunity to check these women and you don't do it. See, me and Brother Aton, we're always checking people. We're checking the women, we're checking the brothers, and not only just on social media, but in real life, you know, outside the screen. If I see a brother doing something that's wicked, and it's like, I'm gonna correct. I don't care if he's mad at me. I don't care if the sister's mad at me.
God.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like don't let me see no mixed couple that out nowhere, the gas station or anything like that. I'll be like,
yeah,
you know, that's all, Hawk.
What's that?
No, I said I'll just tell him that's off.
Yeah.
What you got?
Especially if the Most High bring us in something that we know that is wicked, and you sisters, you see all these women, and that are pushing this feminist judgment, feminist movement, and this agenda and all this stuff. But yet, all these women that got videos, guess what they're doing? They're trying to teach the scriptures. They're trying to be like a man. They're trying to take the priests. And when you try to correct them, they get offensive because they don't want to fulfill their role. How many women out there do you see on social media teaching Titus?
No, you already know that. They're out there.
You're not seeing any. I'm not seeing any, and I'm going to say no. I have not seen not one.
No.
That's strictly teaching Titus, or that has a channel that is strictly getting on these whores and harlots. I don't see that out there. And yeah, look, y'all can call us hard if you want to, but you know what? We go hard for the Most High, because imagine the prophets had to go hard constantly, 50 years and plus. Can you imagine Enoch and them boys, Noah going hard for 120 years, Israel, on straight up wickedness? And some of y'all can't even last 3 days. Y'all get weary after like a couple of days. But these brothers, you know, we got this 7-year war ain't nothing. This ain't nothing compared to 120 years.
God.
These brothers went 120 years hardcore against wickedness.
Con, I'm gonna tell you, Israel, I'm sick of you women. I ain't gonna lie, man. Man, you think I get tired of doing this every weekend and week out? You know, but I know it's got to be done. I know it's got to be done. I'm sick and tired of coming on here saying the same thing damn near week in and week out about the sisters and about these weak noodleback brothers, right? Because it's just so simple to fix. It's just so simple to fix, right? But y'all just don't want to do it. Right, y'all just don't want to. Y'all just don't want to learn. Y'all just want to. Y'all happy being wicked as hell, and I hope the Most High kill y'all.
Yeah, and not only that, you don't want to check. You don't want to check the other sisters. You know, and there's been a couple of times we had some sisters trying to act up on here, and nobody was correcting them. It's like, come on, you know, Israel. We just let stuff just happen and just go on. And we don't say nothing about it. Then we can't do that, and that's the only reason why me and Brother Aton are continuing this war, because what the scripture says, it says to cry loud, spare not, show Israel their trespass. Yeah, he's right. There's I don't want to come up here and deal with our people, because it's like our people are so stiff-necked and they're going to do what they want to do anyway, you know. And I'm not talking about you all individually. I'm just talking about collectively, generally, you know. And maybe some of you all, I don't know. You know, I don't know who you are. I don't know you personally on here. But guess what? When this lesson goes offline, guess what? You know, you're being watched. Everything that you say, everything that you do, every action that you do is being recorded.
It just puts me in a bad mood. You know what I mean? It's not that. It's just that having to think about it. Like having to think about the state of our people, having to think about the Israelite women that aborted 20 million of us, having to think about we got 73% of y'all that are out there unmarried, single mothers, raising up more nigglets to be bad and wicked in the community. You know what I'm saying? I get frustrated having to think about this stuff all the time. That's why I hate coming on here week after week talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about other things that I want to say, but this right now is a situation that we in and why we continuously with this wickedness. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah. In Israel, let me show y'all something right quick. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 7:7. All right, I'm gonna put the screen up in a minute, and I'm gonna show y'all why it was hard for the prophets, and it's hard for current brothers who are really preaching this truth. Because when you're dealing with stiff-necked people that don't want to listen, and they want to hear it, but then they don't want to put it into action. It says Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, "Surely oppression makes a wise man mad."
Hold up, it didn't come up.
It didn't come up. Can you? Oh, my fault. I didn't pull it up. Okay, can you see it now?
Con, it's on there.
All right. Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says, "Surely oppression makes a wise man mad, and a gift destroys the heart." And so, Israel, you got to understand. I can see why Moses was so frustrated with his people. I can see why Habakkuk was so. I can see why Ezra. I can see why all these prophets were just frustrated with their people because they constantly were just being wicked. And now these days, you got the women that are just so out of control. It's not even funny. Yet you want to blame the men. Well, hell, the men that are current now are the ones who were raised by you all. So what you expect? You're raising women. You're doing nothing but raising a bunch of women.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? Talking about Israel, right? Black backslide, it means that we're being wicked. For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. And see, that's what's going on right now. We're being surrounded by women, right? Surrounded by women, doing nothing but trying to get us to succumb to more wickedness. Hey, you know what? Let's be feminine. Hey, it's okay to be feminine, brothers. It's okay to be feminine. It's okay. That's wicked as hell. The only reason why you can even remotely even think that or even come to any kind of feminine nature, like brothers out here wearing these tight ass pants, right? Brothers out here that are doing all types of things that are not scripturally based as being a man, period, right? We're not doing that nowadays, right? It's because we're being raised up by women. So you don't have the basic discipline in order to control your emotions, right? You don't have the basic discipline that it takes to control your emotions because you were not around a father, right? A father tell you straight to your face, "Hey, son, you need to cut that out or I'm gonna whoop your ass." Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? A father will tell you straight to your face what to do and what not to do. And he's going to tell you just like it is. He's not going to bounce around with it or you know what I'm saying, care about your emotions, because those things don't matter, right? At the end of the day, right? If you look at all the great prophets, they were all in control of their emotions, right? Imagine if Moses was not in control of his emotions, right? Just imagine that, right? So when the Most High had told Moses to get ye down from the mountain, right? Or that, should I make Israel again with just your stock, right? A brother that did not be raised with the father, right? Or brother that had a problem in a situation and he was raised feminine, you know what he would have done? Oh, God, Most High, kill him and raise him again with me. But see, Moses was not emotional. Moses was in control of his emotions because Moses was a man, right? Until
he struck that rock because it pissed him off so much,
so much so that he was not raised by a whore or a harlot,
exactly,
or a woman that needed to be right. He was raised by the Pharaoh and his wife, right? Even though Moses and Moses' own mother that breastfed him, and that the woman that brought them back to her,
right? She had the mother nursed him.
Right, and the mother nursed Moses, right? So these women that Moses was being brought up with, as you see, because Moses grew up to be strong, he even killed an Egyptian that did what hit his own people. We knew that Moses grew up to be a strong man because he wasn't raised by no harlot, he wasn't raised by no whore, and these are damn heathens over here. in the Egyptian land, along with his mother when she was being when he was being breastfed.
Yeah.
So this is not a mystery of what's going on today in society. Whores and harlots are are in our community, raising up our sons and daughters, returning them back to folly and turning them into whores and harlots with the stuff that they're doing that we see, right?
And
Because how do we learn?
Yep. And this is why we see the wickedness that's so heavily increased in our communities with jail, drugs, all this gangster stuff, wannabe gangs, all that kind of stuff. So to answer your question, brother Dre P, is how do we deal with combative women with the scriptures? Dealing with them with the scriptures, just like we're doing right now. We're dealing with them with the scriptures.
It says, when y'all witness a single mother's, did it ever become? Well, okay, I say, when I witness to someone outside of this, it's a more personal conversation. So the way that you talk to a person like one-on-one, it wouldn't be as I would say straightforward as it is here. I would say it wouldn't be as harsh. I wouldn't say we're harsh, but we won't be straight to the point and your feelings be damned type of situation. Let's say if I am dealing with a single mother, right? I want her to realize her wickedness, but not in a way that that will stray her away from the faith. You see what I'm saying? So like when you're dealing with those, you don't want to condemn them to the you wicked ass woman and the Lord's gonna tell you, you know what I'm saying, when you're first dealing with them, right? But our channel's been up for a while, so the folks that we're following us, they already know how we are, right? Well, the folks that are supporting us, right, they already know how we are. But if I were dealing with a individual person, right, you don't want them to be combative, right? So you want them to be in a mental space, but they'll be able to receive the word, right? Because you don't want them to stray away from the word, right?
Because
now,
if they're combative, they're not going to hear you because their mind's already made up.
Now, if they do get combative, right? Now, if they do get combative and you tried your best, right? If you tried your best to be respectful and to let them know, and to rebuke them in a way that, that's, that's righteous, by all means, right? And they become combative. Hey, man, hey, brother, just walk away from the situation, right? You got to show that you keep the commandments, and that by you keeping the commandments, that's not going to allow you to deal with any type of folly, wickedness, or madness, right? So you need to just, turn your back on that person and walk away. Be like, okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get this. I didn't want.
No, that's good. That was a good question, though.
Con.
Yep. And if anybody got any more questions, just start generating. If anybody wants to come on, start generating. And we'll put the link in the description box. Just come on. All right. Again, just be respectful to one another. And we've had people that come on and it was legit. Me and Brother A-Time would never just throw rocks at you and continue like that. You know what I'm saying? And even if you come out here and you're being combative or whatever and everything, we're gonna set you straight at the same time. We're gonna be able to show you some things and show you the way. And nobody can sit here and say, "Oh man, y'all guys we're just being harsh." No, you never ever hear us just cursing somebody or wishing death on somebody like that. That's a huge difference. But at the same time, we're going to make sure that you understand what the consequences are if we do not obey these commandments. If we go astray from the Most High, because that's common sense. All right.
Now,
common sense is, sisters, if you keep opening your legs up to the poopies and ray-rays and you keep pushing out these babies and they don't have fathers, raising them, and you raising these kids by yourself, we're showing you through the scriptures that the end result of that is going to be death. I mean, common sense. Well, I mean, how else? We can't sugarcoat that kind of stuff, Israel. You have to give it straight.
That's
we can't sit up here and be trying to use big ambiguous words and trying to sound a certain way just to appease to your emotions. We're not here for that. We're not here for your emotions. We are here to preach the straight truth.
Okay.
And we already know that this truth is not for everybody. It's not for the faint-hearted. And if you're weak, I'm sorry, you're going to end up falling in the same one of those categories in the parable of the sower.
All right, Davian. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yeah, man, we make a Passover video every year. We'll put that up. Passover, that's tomorrow, y'all. Right. So
Yes.
sundown Saturday. Y'all
Mhm.
need to get ready for that lamb. Have it ready.
Yeah.
Also, right.
And we'll probably doing a lesson
Also,
around.
right. Hey, hold on for a second. Right. Also, right. Y'all make sure that no sex or anything of that nature, because y'all got to be clean during the Passover. So
Yep.
all throughout this whole day, from before sundown, y'all got to remain clean. All right, everybody remain clean, and that way we can have a nice and a holy day. All right,
And
go
all
ahead.
11 should have already been removed from your homes and everything.
Con.
All right. So we'll probably be doing the lesson around 10 o'clock tomorrow evening. So just to give you that and everything. And we will do the Passover lesson. We'll go through all the things they went through. As a matter of fact, the Passover was according to the Torah was the first feast day they kept before they left Egypt. And we're going to show you the importance of it and everything as well too. So,
all
right. And also, just to add on to that too, remember the day is a holy day too, so no sex, because not just the Passover.
Yeah, that's right.
Any holy feast days, Israel, whether it be the Shabbat or the feast days or feast day Shabbats, is no sex, because you have to be clean on those days.
Yeah, those are clean days. That's why they're holy days, separate days from your regular everyday rigmarole that you do. Okay, got to be clean
not
on
just
those days.
Just the Passover, but the Shabbats as well too. So make sure you make that clear. All right. What bitter herbs do y'all eat for Passover? There's several kinds. What you call those? What's the name of those herbs? I got some the other day.
You talk parsley?
Yeah, parsleys. Yeah, those are some bitter herbs. You have different categories of bitter herbs, and there's a few more out there. I just forgot the name of them, but the ones I normally use is parsleys.
All right, here. You know what? Here you go, Israel. I got something for you. Oops, Salakia. And stop and present. All right, here we go. Right, here's some for you. Right, we got mugwort, valerian, chamomile, peppermint, yarrow, common sorrel, chicory, wormwood, neem tree, gentian, angelica, cinquefoil. I don't know how to pronounce that. Right. This is buckbean, centauri, milk thistle, cinnamon, dandelion. Right. Those would be bitter herbs. Right. Let's see. Bitter herbs for health. Right. So you can be healthy while you eat. Let's see what we got. Oops. Salakia. Oh, this is something for the Passover. Bitter herbs with the Passover. That's probably some old heathen. I don't know. Never mind. Damn heathen gonna give me no advice about something that that's out. Sorry, but Israel. These are right. These are some that you can use. Okay. Oh, sorry, it was Slovakia. There's also let me see.
Bring up the parsley so they can see what that looks like.
Okay, yeah, con. I was trying to doggone go to one that has like a bunch of
you look for the bitter herbs.
Yeah, I'm just looking for that looks like chamomile, neem tree, centauri, peppermint, dandelion, chicory. Oh, those are the ones that you should consider growing. All right, Salakia, Israel.
Some of the stuff you can grow. You don't even need you just get something this. All right. So, okay, here, let me share this right quick.
You got it? All right, Con.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so hard to find. You should just be able to pull it right up. I don't know what's going on with that.
Right. Some of the stuff that you read was mentioned in this one as well too. So, all right, can you see that?
Yeah, Con.
Okay.
There it is. Okay, now I got it on my side.
So, arugula, basil, chives,
Cilantro,
cilantro, dill, oregano. Oregano is really good too.
oregano.
Oregano, parsley, peppermint. But I don't normally use peppermints for anything like that. I did some research on peppermint, and I found out that it's really not a natural. It's not a natural herb. You know,
Oh,
some
really?
of that stuff is. You know how you have like mixed breeds and stuff like that, different things that was not really parsley good, but parsley is an original one.
Con.
Sage is a good one.
Con.
Tarragon is a good one. Thyme is a good one, and rosemary.
And there's the parsley right there. You showing that already?
Yep, the parsley
All
right
right.
there. Yep.
Con.
So that's the one. That's the one I always use the parsley, or I'll either use parsley or rosemary.
Con.
So. All right.
All right, Israel. You got any questions? Got any questions, Israel? Any questions at all pertaining to the lesson? You want to know how to repent from being a harlot or a person, a harlot or whore, or you have a problem with needing to be right? We can show you the scriptures that you need to go to. All right, you can go back to this lesson. You got any questions at all? Just put it down in the comments. And if not, I'll leave it up to Brother Daniel. He might have another scripture or two for you.
What's that? Well,
That's it.
What we're going to do is we're going to get ready to bid you a Shabbat Shalom, so you can get back to your Shabbats, get back to the Shabbat and everything, like those menorahs. I got some really good frankincense and myrrh. Found a good supplier that gets it straight from Africa, from the boswellia trees. And so, you know, man, that stuff smells so good. I'm looking forward to that. Put me on a spiritual high, Israel. Yeah.
Ready to get it in.
We're gonna go ahead and bid you a Shabbat Shalom.
Khan, that's right.
And stay strong. We'll see you tomorrow for the beginning of Passover.
Khan.
And Israel, just practice these righteous acts. Rejoice in these feast days because
that's
they
right.
are ours. The Most High has blessed us with them, so we should be grinning from ear to ear. I was grinning from ear to ear all week because I've been waiting for this moment.
Khan. Israel, be sure to put your notifications on, hit the like, share this, share this video with any harlots, whores, or women that need to be right. Okay, make sure to share this video with them.
Israel, we got to start holding our people accountable.
That's
whether
right.
they like it or not. I don't care if they block you, whatever. At least you planted that seed, you sent it to them. They won't have no excuse.
Right. This video.
Right. That judgment day, it's gonna be like, well, did my servant send you a lesson?
God. All right. And this video is not for the repenting women, for the repenting women of Israel. All praises to the Most High, and we value you, sisters. Right. But these are these lessons are for the wicked. So you make sure y'all get this out to the wicked, so we can go ahead and try to grow in the repenting section of the Israelites. All right.
All right.
All right, Israel.
I think. Hey, JP, are you referring to the frankincense? It says, give me the site. I'm not sure what site you're referring to. There it is right here.
Okay, I see it.
The site, yeah. Before I go, I just want to see what he means. Yeah, just let me know what site you're talking about, brother. You put it in the comment right quick. I think he might be talking about the frankincense site. I don't know. I'm not sure or not.
Frankincense? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wait for a reply. See if
I don't think he's talking about the
Okay, maybe something else then.
All right, Khan.
Okay, well, no problem. All right, Israel. Well, hey, Shabbat Shalom.
That's right. Shabbat Shalom.
Sure.